I paid $9,000 for the boat. I says, and you've got probably close to $800 worth of electronics on there. I says, and that was a wholesale price. And I says, so I'll take 10.5. I want to see a little profit. Can you get the trailer? No, all right. I said, but if you want the slip, you got to buy it, or you got to rent it. So what do you get for the slip? Give me another $1,000. All right. So we made out pretty good on it. And then we went up and picked up the 32. Well, it was registered as a 32. So, but then I brought that one back. Now my son Bruce went up with me because Darlene didn't want to come back on the boat. She was kind of shell-shocked from 3 days prior. So my son Bruce went with us up, and him and I brought the boat back, and she drove the van back. But once she got on it, and we went out to the harbor a little bit with it, and, that's the one we took to New York and all that, so she got used to it real quick after that. Because the 3 or 4 days in between, I learned real quick how to use everything that was on that boat. And that was back in '87. So now I teach navigation. So, but anyway, I forgot a little bit about it, but it starts to come back. But sometimes you kind of need a little time, like, not a lot of time. 5-10 minutes of screwing around with it. Oh, bingo, there we are. But I haven't done any nav courses in a while. Is that on or off? I want to make sure it's off. It is, because it's hanging. Alright, so that was the story about that one. So that's when we went from the 27 to the 32. And you think, oh, what was that? 5 feet. Makes a big difference on a boat. First of all, the first one only had like an 8-foot beam. The second one had a 14-foot beam. Is it 14? 12. 12-foot beam. And it was 32 foot long. Big difference. It really is. Now we had a full berth up in front. We had a couch where the back of the couch would go up and it would become a bunk. So you have 2 bunks. You had a booth where 4 people can sit in it comfortably. You had a galley with a sink, a small electric stove, two burner, small refrigerator, your electrical panel, all that. And then you had a full head bathroom with a shower, a toilet, vacuum flush, so it flushed, a shower, hot and cold running water, a sink. You had everything you needed. Plus you had a nice deck where you could fit 6-8 people comfortably. So that couple of feet make a big difference. So we had that one that year. That's the one we went to New York with. And then the following year we went to another boat show. No, I'm sorry. We didn't go to another boat show. I was on the boat and I was on the internet. And I seen a 35-foot Formula for sale. And I'm looking at it and I said, well, this isn't one of those go-fast boats. This is a cruiser like we have. And they're showing pictures of the inside, and it was basically the same as this one, wider, however, and a little bit longer. Again, a foot makes a big difference, because you also get extra width, and this had the aft cabin, this slept 2, had a full head, with shower and everything, had a
full front berth, a booth, a full-size apartment refrigerator. You know, so I mean, again, we're getting a lot for that extra foot. They call it footitis. What are you doing on, baby? What's that? So we had that one for a while. We didn't do much traveling with that one. It was a nice boat. It was a bigger boat, naturally. The overall on that one was, I think it was 37 or 38. I'd have to look it up. I don't pay attention to the length of the pulpit and the swim platform. So I usually just go by the footage of what it's registered as. So at that point, we decided to take a ride to Mamaroneck, New York. And there it was. And you know what? I kind of like that one. And I had my surveyor with me, Dick Padloff. Nice guy. So we went up there and we're looking at it. And we took it for a ride out and about. And 10-minute ride or so. Brought it up on plane and backed it down. You know, ran a little bit. You know, he got down in the engine room and did his thing, and he says, I don't see anything wrong with it. Seems like a pretty good boat to me. What are you asking for it? And he says, nah. He said it right in front of the owner and the broker. Nah. He says, you better knock another $4 or $5 grand off of that. And even then. Now, he's going because of the year. Now, it was a year newer than our other one, but he was still going by a year. You know, and the hours. You go by hours on boats, not miles. So, he says, these motors are probably going to have to be rebuilt pretty soon. He says, you know, so you got to think about that as well. So, I ended up buying it, and who was it that went back with me? Oh, Darlene. Yeah, Darlene. We had gotten a ride out there, and Darlene and I brought it back. We had that for about a year, and now again I'm on the internet, and I see a 36-foot PC. It was another formula. There's pictures of it around here someplace. But anyway, it was called, what was the name on it? Yeoman. Alright, so, Yeoman. So anyway, at that point, we looked at it. This thing was immaculate. I mean, this thing was like, wow. It was like the Wellcraft that we bought, the Saint-Tropez. When we bought that, it was like, wow. This thing was like a new boat, you know, and it was not a new boat. You know, so anyway, the same thing with this formula. I said, oh. And it had 502s, twins, great shape, low miles. You open up the hatch hydraulically, and it had a diamond plate aluminum stairway going down into the engine room. The engine room, you were able to eat out of it. This thing was just very well maintained. And again, I had Dick with me. And we went around while it was on land and tapped it out. And then went through everything else. And then we put it in the water and ran it, checked the pumps and all that kind of stuff. And took a first spin. And Dick comes up to me and says, you got a winner here. You know, the price was actually fair. So I ended up buying that one. So, and each time we bought one, we still had the old one. So I always had two boats. So we always had to